Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Circle of Peaceful Progress. And as you all know, that our endeavor has been always to bring something different to you, to bring something that adds value not only to us, but to our families and circles around us, everybody around us, isn't it? So how do we go about it? We try to bring you various healing forms and how they are associated with Redikall. We try to bring you various speakers who speak on a lot of topics which are very near and dear to us or our families. Today, again, is a special day because who are more special than children, right? So children for all of us mean that we have to look after them, but there are special children who need a little more. And sometimes parents go into a very deep trauma when they realize that the child that they are going to bring into this world may not be as per the normal norms, right? So what do? Best is to educate them. Best is to make them aware. Best is to make them understand that the role of such children in our lives has been and is for a deeper meaning. And catch them young, early intervention. That is what our speaker today, Leena Adesara, is going to talk about. Who is she? Leena is a dedicated special educationist, isn't it? With over 2 decades experience, having worked at prestigious institutions like Kangaroo Kids, Sundarji Manina School, and Communication DO. She has founded Pramasha Center for Special Needs in Jamshedpur, an early intervention center aimed at maximizing the potential of children aged 3 to 12. Leena has conducted seminars for teachers in DBMS school in Jamshedpur for early signs and diagnosing special children. Now, this is very important. It's not just the role of the parents, but when children are going to, let's say, normal schools, it is the teacher who is a great source and a big source of help to identify what exactly may or may not be needed by the child. She counsels children from leading schools with special needs. Since 2019, she is the principal at Gyanodaya Noble Academy, Jamshedpur. So today our guest is all the way from Jamshedpur. Leena holds a B.Ed in special education that includes multi-category, physically handicapped, mentally retarded, pervasive development disorders, and she has a BA in psychology. She is a certified behavior analyst. She enjoys hobbies like charcoal painting, reading, and music. Today, she shares her journey as a special educator, emphasizing the importance of early intervention and inclusivity in child development. And the theme, as I said earlier, is early intervention. Let's catch them young. Now, just a little bit about early intervention. Early intervention for special children is crucial, emphasizing the catch them young approach. Identifying development challenges at an early age allows for tailored support and therapies. Early interventions enhance a child's overall development, fostering better communication, social skills, and independence. Timely assistance empowers both children and their families to navigate challenges more effectively, promoting a brighter future. Investing in early intervention is an investment in a more inclusive society. So let's welcome our speaker, Leena Adesara. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. And now the platform is all yours. Over to you.
Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction, and thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and it's a beautiful platform where I have so many close knitted people who are coming together for a spiritual and a hope filled gathering. You know, it's a community of hope and spiritualism. Uh, Thank you so much. Let me begin with my topic, since it's like, I have a short time to cover a broad topic, and this is like one of my favorite topics. So let me begin with early intervention. As ma'am discussed early intervention to all of y'all, I would like to put it across to y'all in my words. Early intervention means identifying and providing effective early support to children with disabilities. I want to break my topic into 5 basic points. I would like to explain 5 basic points in this short span of time. First is, what is early intervention? Like I said, early intervention means we have to identify special children. Identifying special children is, I know it's the role of the teacher, it's the role of the parents, it's the role of anybody who comes across these special children. According to the DSM and Diagnostic Statistical Manual, which I would like to put across, there are 21 types of disabilities. So 21 out of these 21 types of disabilities, there are some disabilities which are easily identifiable by people. Like, you can easily make out if there is a child who is blind and he's walking, you can say he's a blind child. A child who cannot hear, so he has hearing impairment. A child who's not able to walk, so he's got spasticity, cerebral palsy. So there are some disabilities which are easily identifiable by people. But then also there are some disabilities which parents, which teachers take some time to identify. So when we identify these special needs, the special challenges faced by children, uh, that is children with reading difficulties, writing difficulties, children who are facing, who are slow learners, who are having a little difficulty with, visual perception. Lots of there are certain disabilities which are not easily identifiable by people at a very early age. So by the time we actually able to find out children, we come across children with disabilities at an age where, their basic they have already passed their basic developmental stages, where it's very difficult for us to have a better prognosis with them. So first of all, I would like to, as I said, I would like to break this topic into 5 basic points. So first is, we understand what early intervention is all about. So early intervention is identifying and providing support and intervention to children who has disabilities. That is the first point. Second thing, we identify the special needs and challenges faced by these children with disabilities. Like I said, right now, I would like to just put across 4 disabilities which right now I've been working with. That is autism. Autism, a child who is autistic has low eye contact. If the child is not able to make good eye contact with us, the child has delayed speech and has repetitive behaviors. So we are identifying special needs of these children. So first is autism. So when we look at a child, we are looking at these 4 basic things: no eye contact, delayed speech, repetitive behaviors, and limited eye contact. So that is when we come across the child is having autism. Second disability is the child is having speech and language disorders. What is speech and language disorders? That is, the child has difficulty pronouncing words, has difficulty in saying the basic words, has a lisp, or is the child is stammering, has difficulty in, has limited vocabulary, or even the child is struggling with communication, the basic communication. The child is not able to answer any questions of yours, not able to respond to any of your questions, not follow any of your instructions. That is why we say the child has speech and language disorders. The third point I want to say, the child has developmental delays. Like there are many children we come across, oh, the child is not able to speak. Uh, I come across many parents who come to me and they say, the child is not speaking anything. The child is, अभी तक 3 साल हो गया मगर बच्चा कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहा है. अभी 2.5 साल हो गया, अभी तक मम्मी पापा सीखा नहीं है बोलना, चल नहीं पा रहा है, बोल नहीं पा रहा है. So क्या करना चाहिए? So there are developmental delays. There are so we have to address these developmental delays. So the parent needs to be aware of all the milestones where on the developmental chart. So I would like to say that when we understand what is early intervention, why we need early intervention, then we start identifying the special needs and challenges. That is the 3 categories which I just explained. And in this, the main role comes of parents, the teachers, and the pediatricians. The first role comes of parents, because the parents are in direct contact with the children and they are 24/7 with their own child. So there are parents which, when they come across such children, they themselves are passing through almost 7-8 stages where they are not able to accept their own child, that the child has a problem. So it is the role of the parents which we need to work upon. There are 6 stages which they cannot pass. The parents with special children pass, the 6 stages. Like the first stage they pass is denial. They don't accept their own child. They say there is no problem in my own child, and everything they'll be fine with some time. When the time passes, they'll be fine. So it is the first step when they are facing the denial stage, that they are not able to understand. They are saying that they have no problem with their own child. And I would like to say that, they just come to me and they say, mere bachche ko koi problem nahi hai. They are in a state of shock. So that is when, that is the awareness which we need to create, where the parents themselves are able to identify their needs, the needs of special children, and face the challenges, and able to understand the challenges of their own children. So like I said, the parents face 6 stages till they actually accept their own child, that their own child has some special problems, some special needs which they need to be addressed and faced, and we need to help our own child to overcome those challenges. So first stage which the parents face is shock and denial. Then from the shock and denial stage, slowly, after a period of time, they reach a second stage, that is anger and guilt. They start feeling that, it's because of my own, they start blaming themselves, that it's because of me that they are having a special child. They start getting angry, and there are many times that, they will actually, they will just give anger to their own child. They'll be just angry with their child for having one. They'll be angry with themselves. They'll be guilty about having a special child. So that is the second stage. So the parents are passing the first stage, that is the shock and denial. Then they come to anger and guilt. Then after that, they come to the third stage, that is bargaining, which I have a lot of parents who come to me and they are in that stage of where they are bargaining, that, they are like, they do many things, main ye pandit ke paas chali jati hu, I will do so many fasts, I will do, I will give, I'll give this much of donation to some people, I'll do these pujas and such rituals. So they come up with, that bargaining phase in their own lives, where they want, they don't believe in treatments and therapies, and they don't understand the child, but they just want the child to be fine. They want the child to be, to not being a special child. So that is the third stage where the parents are stuck. After shock denial, after anger and guilt, after bargaining, they're coming to the fourth stage, where after doing everything, after they feel that we've done everything on the spiritual end, on the religious way, or we have gone to all the astrologers, or we've done lots of things. After they do all of that, they reach a stage where they feel they cannot do anything with their special child, and they reach a point where they are just about to break down and they have a depression. Once they have a depression, so it is very difficult for a teacher or a doctor to, because the child themselves is having a problem. The parent already has a special child, and the parent themselves are not in a state to handle themselves. Then how would they handle their own special child? So that's what I feel, that this is the time where the power of Redikall comes in. If we can equip our parents who are having special children, to work with themselves, and they are able to accept their own special child by doing a lot of statements. Like, I have come across a lot of statements, and I've heard a lot of statements from my sister-in-law, Mrs. Sheetal Gusani. She tells me that these statements, these affirmations have so much of power within them. And I myself have I've had some experiences where I have passed faced this, and I've seen the power of Redikall. So if we come across parents who have children with special needs, and we train them and teach them to say a lot of affirmations, like they say the name of the child, that my child is my soul's love, my child, they face their own fear of what people will say, of what people say, that it's my soul's love, my my inability to accept my own special child, to face their own ground reality is the soul's love. They do statements like, my sadness is my soul's love. So when they do all these statements, like, my worry is my soul's love, so they themselves are empowering themselves. And once they empower themselves, they can definitely help their own special child who's already facing a lot of challenges. So that is the fourth point, which I'm just right now I'm just explaining the role of parents and where the parents are. That these are the stages they face. So when I start explaining the role of parents, I have already put across the first point, that is shock and denial. The second point, that is anger and guilt. The third point, that is bargaining. The fourth point, that is depression, in which, I really feel that these Redikall statements really are powerful. The fifth statement comes where we have won our battle, and that is acceptance. Accepting your own special child, accepting that these are the limitations my child is facing. These are my child's strengths. These are my child's weaknesses, which my child has to overcome with the help of his strengths. So the parent has reached a stage where there is acceptance of the child. Once we reach a stage where there is acceptance of the child by the parents, then, once the parents have accepted their own child, then definitely the society, the community, the schools, and the broader framework of society will accept our own special children. So I feel that, it is very important that we empower these parents, that they can themselves identify their own special children, or identify children who they are seeing all around, and they start having early intervention for these children. So when we have these parents who have already empowered and already are able to identify these special children, then they reach a stage where there is advocacy and empowerment. So the last stage which parents face in their own journey of accepting their own special child, it leads to the end result, that is advocacy and empowerment. There are so many parents who themselves, I would say, have built special schools, have built support systems, have built organizations where they're not helping one child, but they are helping a group of children, where they are, and there are so many children these parents have helped to overcome different challenges, and they have become a rock solid community of our own society. So I would like to put across, I just hope I'm not too fast with, am I not quick with everybody? Am I perfect? Is everybody able to follow me? Excuse me? Hello?
Yes, yes, everybody can follow you.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah. I hope I'm not too fast. Is it?
Not at all, not at all. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I am trying to link early intervention with identifying special needs with the role of parents and what parents face. All the 6 stages which the parents go through. Once they go through this and they reach a level of advocacy and empowerment, once they reach that, how they are able to manage and bring a change in society. And this is definitely the most important thing, which we need to, being a society, being a community, which we need to help our own parents to come across and face in life. That is one thing. So once they reach empowerment and advocacy, after that we come across involving everybody. Once after we are able to help parents reach a stage where they are able to understand what is early intervention and what is special needs, they are able to do their own advocacy and empowerment. And later on, we train these teachers, we train these people in different early intervention strategies. So I would like to say, like I said earlier, according to the government and according to the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, there are 21 disabilities. So right now, it is very difficult for me to cover up all 21 disabilities. But like every disability has a different strategy, how to work with those strategies. For autistic children, there are different strategies. For children with special speech and language disorders, there are different early intervention strategies. And like I would say, even the basic early intervention strategy starts in the classroom. The starts in the classroom. For an autistic child, I would just give you an example, a short example. One strategy I would like to put across for an autistic child. If the child, it's a regular classroom of 50-60 children where there is one autistic child, and the teacher is aware and has identified that special child, that autistic child. Once he's identified that special child, the mere idea of the teacher, just the strategy of the teacher to every time when she's about to give an instruction to call the name of the child, that will bring the child to attend to the teacher and do the task. So I would like to elaborate this. I'm just giving you 1-2 strategies which I want to explain it to you all. So that is like an autistic child is always having poor attention, and the child has no eye contact. So whenever you say the name of the child, suppose the child's name is Shaurya. So if you say Shaurya, as soon as you say Shaurya, you are taking the attention of the child. So once you take the attention of the child is facing, the child is understanding, the child is listening to you. He's giving you the attention to do that task, to complete the task. So even those minute changes made by the teachers and the understanding provided by the parents in regular setups will help these special children. So there are not many strategies which come according to different disabilities. This is one of it. Even there are small things like a child who's visually impaired but has a very good IQ. The child who has very good IQ, so is able to sit in a regular classroom with his braille books. Because the child is visually impaired, he's not auditory, he's not having a problem with his auditory, his hearing. So there are some children who do very well with minute changes in the intervention strategies. So these are the small intervention strategies which are parents, which once they identify their own special needs child, that they are able to come across and or help the child overcome their own disabilities and face their own challenges. Uh, like I said, like since I have like 30 minutes and I have been a little quick with explaining a lot of things, I would like to just summarize this whole thing in a very short way. So I think, you all have got a grip of this topic, which is quite broad, but it has very minute things which needs to be attended to. Like this topic is, as I said, I've divided into 5 main points. That is an understanding early intervention. So again, early intervention means we support a child at a very early age, that is as early as 2.5 years of age till 12 years of age, where the child learns most of the basic development. Most of the basic development happens during these ages, and most of the skills are learned by the child at this age. Second point, after understanding what early intervention is, I come to the second point, that is identifying special needs. Again, identifying special needs, that is where the role of the parents, the teachers, the pediatrician comes in. Like there are some children, children with some of the disabilities, that is hearing impairment, visual impairment, everybody can understand, everybody can make out. But there are children who are having learning disabilities, who are dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyslexic. They are identified very late. They are identified by the 4th, 5th standard. So by then the child has already reached 10 years, 12 years of age. So intervention, they have lost the period of intervention where they are already developing those skills and they're learning the different techniques. So again, identifying special needs at that early age is very important. So for that, again, awareness, a lot of awareness by organizations like Redikall and many other organizations. So once they start building up on awareness, when they are building awareness for special children, that's where parents and teachers will be able to identify these special needs children. That's the second point. Third point, the role of parents. Role of parents, I explained that the parent, if the parent has his own special child, the parent itself is going through a lot of struggle. The parent is going through 6 stages in their own journey of acceptance. So like shock and denial, to second point of anger and guilt, to bargaining, to depression, then coming to acceptance, and then coming to advocacy and empowerment. That's the third point. That is role of parents. Then I come to the fourth point. That is involving everybody. This is really it's been 2 decades for me. I've been working in this field, and I yet remember the first initial years of my working till now, that another 20 years down the line. I really feel that there has been a lot of awareness. A lot of organizations have been really coming together, building a lot of awareness in parents, in teachers, in organizations, in schools. So there has been definitely a slow but a continuous awareness happening, and where everybody is getting involved to work for these special children. So I really feel that there are so many organizations which are really doing beautiful work with special children, but my main focus out here today is like, I want to catch them young. We have to catch them young, because it is really important to catch them young. Why? Because if we catch them young, and early intervention leads to a better prognosis. The children, when we catch them at a very early age, we really can train hard with them. We can really make them independent in their lives. We can help them achieve their maximum potentials, and we can really make them independent, earning members of the family, which there are so many children I have come across and I have worked with. And right now, I proudly say there are so many children who are already independent and running the small outlets, small bakeries, Some are running their own, they have their own shop. Some of them, they are doing, they are helping the father in the cake business. They're helping the father in handicrafts. There are so many children who are doing very good, very wonderful because of early intervention. So definitely early intervention leads to a better prognosis. And the last point, which I would like to come finish with, that is early intervention strategies. Like I said, we understand early intervention, then we identify the special needs, then there is the role of the parents, where we need to work hard and treat, and where Redikall has done beautiful in working with a lot of special mothers and a lot of special parents, where there are so many children who are really doing very good in their, and they're developing and improving. So that is the role of parents. Then the fourth is involving everyone, where there is a lot of awareness happening. And the last, I come up with early intervention strategies. This itself, early intervention strategy is itself another topic, because if I get into this, I think I will need another hour to explain each and every strategy according to each and every disability. So I would just like to say that, once the child is identified, once the child has, there is an active involvement of parents, and there is like an entire multidisciplinary team working with special needs. So there are different strategies come across, and where the parents are trained, the teachers are trained, and eventually the child itself has incorporated those strategies built in them, and that's why they are doing better, much better, and have evolved as good, really good working independent individuals of society. So but that's what I would like to sum it up with. And I hope I'm being able to explain and do justice to this topic. And that's it. I think I'd like to open this forum for some questions.
Yes. So if anybody has any questions, thank you, Leena. That was simple, descriptive, at the same time very involving. I mean, I think we'll have to call you back someday for those early intervention strategies, because that will be a good topic for people to know, literally know the strategies that they can involve in their lives, or the people on this platform can guide others who may be in the family. And talking of early intervention, I know that I read about it. There is some gentleman in the south of India. He's running a very successful business. He's the CEO of that company. He's blind, visually impaired, and all the people working there are visually impaired. And he's into candle making. And the business is flourishing. And he exports to the whole world also. So, yes, the kinds of impairments that we have, if we catch them young and deal with it, it's definitely going to lead to good results. Thank you so much for this. Now it's open for questions. Anybody having questions, please raise your hand and we'll call you one by one. Yes, Apurva?
Ma'am, what is meant by inclusive society?
Okay. First of all, I would like to explain the word inclusion. Include means include. So like special children are included in our society. In our society means regular general public. So when I say inclusive society, I mean that the special children are given as much the same equality, the same, education. They have the right to the same education. They have the right to the same employment opportunities like us. So that is what we mean by an inclusive society. So right now, I would like to say that since inclusion is one of the upcoming topics, and there is a lot of awareness and lots of schemes coming up by government also regarding inclusion, like a regular school that has to take 3% of special children in their own schools. So like I would say for inclusion, I would say that the children are included in a regular setup with support and help.
Right.
Yeah, am I able to answer you that? Is that
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Ma'am, I have one more question.
Yes.
Ma'am, lead development of fine motor skills. Is that also seen as a child with special need abilities?
Yeah, very good question. See, what happens according to a lot of research and over period of research, there has been like if you are well aware of, there is a developmental milestone chart. Okay, so that is a broad framework. Like by the age of by the age of 2 till 4.5, the child is able to walk. By the age of 1.5, the child is able to say some 7-8 words. So that is like the baseline which has been which is seen and researched by so many years, by many psychologists, many psychiatrists, and it's been put across together by many doctors. It's called the developmental chart. So I'm not saying that all children, they fall into that developmental chart. There are some children who reach milestones at different ages, varying ages. No two child are same. Every child has a different they face their own, every child has own different and developmental stages in their own lives. Like there are some children who can talk, speak earlier, but are not able to walk. Some children walk faster, but they're not able to speak. So every child, the developmental varies according to the hereditary and environmental influences in that person's life, right? So if, I would like to say that when, suppose, like, I'll give you an example. Like, suppose the child is now 6 years of age, okay? The child is 6 years of age, but yet the child is not able to walk. Okay, the child is not able to walk, he is 6 years of age. So definitely you will consider it as a problem, and you will definitely go to a pediatrician or doctor first and consider it, because you will not wait ki acha chalo abhi ek do saal mein he'll learn. So that is where we lose our years, and then we cannot do early intervention. So maybe if the child is not able to yet walk until the age of 6, and we are able to come across that no, he's got spasticity in the lower limbs, so we start working on his spasticity. And eventually, once we start working on the child's spasticity, then over a period of time, we will definitely see that child is walking. But if you wait that the child will reach, in some years he will learn, he will, he'll be able to catch up his skills and all. So that's when they lose those years. And then it gets very difficult, and it takes a longer period for progress and improvement to happen.
Right. Any other questions? Anybody would like to ask any questions? Yes, Mamta.
Yeah, thanks, Leena. Me being a special educator, I definitely relate to this. And just adding up to your inclusive education, Apurva, there are resource rooms. Where there are educational resource room and also life skill resource rooms. Life skill resource rooms are for children who have a little more difficulties than the others. Though they come to the regular school, like it could be a state level curriculum, or it could be a CBSE or ICSE, whatever curriculum. But then they have a separate room where the life skills are taught to them, including the communication. Like, for example, Leena very beautifully explained the difficulties of an autistic child. Okay, the communication is a big barrier for them. So how to communicate, and then behavioral issues will be there, sensory issues will be there. So all those things are, kind of addressed in that life skill resource room. And the educational resource room, where children with dyslexia, dysgraphia, and the so-called the lesser, difficulties. Basically,
Slow learner, the slow learners.
slow learners and kids on the borderline,
Yes.
intellectual borderline, all those, they are taught. And thank you so much, Leena.
It's a broad topic to be covered in 2025.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so You know, there are lots of things. That is really nice meeting you on this forum.
Thank you, Leena.
Same.
And thank you, Mamta, for adding on. The important thing for all of us to understand that parents and the environment in which the child lives need to come to terms and understand, accept with awareness at the earliest, and with Redikall, as we have this beautiful technique that helps you not only calm yourself but learn to deal with situations around you with detachment. So once you have that detachment, it doesn't mean you're detached to your child. It just means that you know the situation, accept it, and then learn to deal with it. There's a lot more calmness and bliss for parents itself. And they can accept and move on in their lives also in an easy manner once the acceptance comes in. So, Leena, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you on the platform. I hope to see you again someday. Thank you very much. And for all people watching, if you have comments, please post in the Circle of Peaceful Progress group so that we know how you felt about it and we get more speakers like this for you in the future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.